In this video, let's talk about scheduling. Specifically, what does EveryChat scheduling feature do and how can you set it up? So on a basic level, EveryChat scheduling feature helps you schedule meetings without having to ask your, call it attendee, what time works for you. Because what EveryChat's calendar or scheduling feature is doing is it reads from your Google or Outlook calendar through our integration, and then it displays a list of available times on your custom scheduling page that your attendee can choose from, book the meeting, and then it will appear on both of your calendars. That's what our scheduling feature does. It has all of the double booking protections. It makes sure that the times that are actually displaying on your calendar are actually available. And then it just makes it easy for you to schedule meetings without having to do this back and forth communication, whether it's email, text, or maybe even on the phone, just trying to figure out what time works for the both of you. You just send them your scheduling link, they book the meeting, and then it appears on both calendars. So to set it up here in EveryChat, it's very simple. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go to Profile Settings, and then you're going to go to Connected Calendars, and then you're going to pick the calendar that you want to integrate into the product. So I'm going to click Google Calendar, and then I'm going to choose this email. From there, all you need to do is just give us permission to this email. You might need to check a box somewhere right here, but of course, because I've already connected this Schedule Talk Testing email, there's nothing more that I need to give EveryChat access to. So I'll just click Continue. And then what you'll see is the email is now, better said, the calendar is now connected to the product, and we are ready to start configuring your scheduling page. So to configure that scheduling page, we will jump over to Scheduling right here. And then that will take us to this page called Appointment Types. In Appointment Types, as the name suggests, is the types of appointments that you want people to book with you. So this just gives you the flexibility to, rather than just saying that this scheduling page is just for 30 or 60-minute meetings, you can give people options, or you can just send people direct links to each appointment type. So that's going to be your workaround. Rather than sending people to your general scheduling page where they have to choose between whether they're booking a lunch meeting or maybe they're just booking a phone call, you just send them a link to the exact meeting that you want them to schedule with you. So let's start by creating appointment types, because otherwise your scheduling page isn't going to work. So let's click Add New. And then we're gonna create an appointment type called, let's just do 30-minute meeting. From there, you're gonna set the duration. This is in minutes. So if you're gonna do a 1-hour meeting, you'll set it to 60 minutes. In this case, it's gonna be 30. And then let's do 30-min meeting, just as an example here. So we're gonna click Create Appointment Type. Our first appointment type is created. Maybe I wanna create one more, which is gonna be lunch meeting. And then we might set this to 2 hours, and then we'll do lunch. So from that point forward, we now have our appointment types here in the system. Let's dig into one and set that up. So we're going to click Edit. And then from that point, we're going to see the basic settings that we've already configured, and we're going to see a few more things down here. So let's start with Form Builder. I'm not going to modify too much about this, but what I can do is I can show you what this does. So the form builder is going to be the information that we ask them once they're scheduling the meeting. So we can click New Field, and we can put in the property address. So this is going to ask them for their address. Or in this case, maybe if we're doing a lunch meeting, we can give them a few options. So preset locations would be something where we can dig into this here. And from that point, we can click on this pencil icon, and then we can put in a few different locations. So you can put in a few, call it lunch locations, let them pick where you're going to meet, and then you can, of course, meet up at that location at the scheduled time. The other options you have in this list are just going to be how they found you. Service description can be modified. So like service description, you can throw that in the list, and then you could say change it to whatever you want. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about a service. It could just be a description about like why are they booking this meeting. You can ask them to give you some additional details before the meeting, so you're prepared, and or maybe you have better time to prepare. So you can collect whatever information you need from these fields. It's more just a template in this case, so you could use this text area for anything. And then you can give them more exact options like, okay, how'd you hear about us? or where do you want to meet, or getting their property address so you can show up and meet them in person. That's the idea there. So from that point, where most people are going to go is availability. This is specifying what times during the day people can book with you. Aside from the fact that EveryChat's going to be updating your list dynamically, and if it sees that you already have a meeting at 3 p.m., it's going to hide that from your list. So you don't need to account for that. This is just going to be setting the start and end time for the day. So you're going to do this for all 7 days of the week. For Saturday and Sunday, maybe you don't want meetings, so I can just say not available and not available. But then for the rest of the days of the week, I can say I want to accept meetings between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. 5 p.m. in this case is going to be the last time that somebody can book with you. So if you want to be done at 5 p.m., you might shift this down to 4:30 if it's a 30-minute meeting, or say 4 if it's a 1-hour meeting. So just keep that in mind. But that's going to be how you specify the times of the day, or between which 2 times of the day you want to accept meetings for. And then you can set break times. So maybe you have lunch in the middle of the day on Monday. So you might say 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Is when I have lunch. Just don't forget to do the PMs at the end. And then you would uncheck this to specify that you have off time on Monday. And then that would be how you specify breaks for certain days. And then you have time zones. Time zones are going to be important if you are working with people in the same location as you. So you'll have the option to set the time zone to locked, which will force people to book in your time zone, or you can leave it to open. That's going to be better if you're booking meetings across different time zones, like a Zoom meeting or something. That just gives people to book and look at times in their exact time zone. So the best rule of thumb, only use locked if you're going to be meeting with people in person. And then you can use unlocked if people are going to be meeting up with you virtually. So they might be in different states, maybe different countries. Unlocked is generally what most people do in this situation. So from that point forward, we can then go through, and the rest of these are just going to be emails and notifications that we send to people after they book a meeting, or even leading up to the meeting, we will send something to them. So a cancellation email is just going to be a message that we send to them if you cancel the meeting. So that's just going to be a notification to them saying, hey, sorry, we had to cancel. Here's a link to reschedule, or I'll send you some information afterwards so we can set something up. So in this case, like many of these other options that you're going to find here, all you need to provide is the subject line of the email, your name, the email address that you'd like to send that email from, and then your message itself. We do have merge fields down here, so you can include the attendee's name, the start date, the duration of the meeting, and then the type of appointment that they scheduled. So from that point, we can jump over to automatic reminders, and you can set up an email reminder for both, or you can set up a reminder for both email and SMS. The only difference with reminders is that you're going to specify how far in advance you want to send this reminder. So I might say I want to set it for, I could do 1 hour. And then that's going to send it 1 hour before the meeting. And then you could have a separate one, which we'll talk about this here in a second, but you could then have a separate text that doesn't have to go out at the exact same time as the email, that might go out 20 minutes before the meeting. So you can stagger them and send them 2 reminders effectively. So the thing that you're seeing here is that on your account, you need to have your phone number associated to it, because we're going to send you reminders as well. And the way that we do that is we need to have your cell phone on file. So what we can do here is, if you run into this, you can jump over to the settings screen and just put in your phone number right here. And then that will enable you to set up that feature and receive text message notifications. Just once you put in that phone number, don't forget to click save, and then you can jump back over to the configuration screen and finish going through this process. So the final thing that you're going to find here is the thank you message. This is going to be right after they book that meeting with you. You're going to send them an email or just display a message on the screen. So the email is going to be set up the exact same way the other emails were set up. Merge fields are still accessible. And then in addition to that, this is not going to be an email, but this is just going to be, once they fill out that form and they click submit, this will be a custom message that displays on that web page. So we're not necessarily sending them an email. They'll just see it right then on the screen after they click submit. So that's basically how you set up EveryChat scheduling feature. Now the question is, how do you share this with everybody? So what you're going to see is on this appointment type, if you want to share this specific meeting or this specific appointment type with people, what you can do is you can click manage and share. Just make sure that you set this to publicly available. Otherwise, the meeting is going to be or your scheduling link is going to appear to be shut down. And then from this point, you can grab this link and send it to somebody by text, by email, whatever it is. And then they can click on that link and go book a meeting with you. One thing that I believe I did miss is if we jump back to the appointment type screen, there were some additional toggles on that screen that we did not do, which actually it looks like we did do. But in this case, just make sure that this is toggled on, which actually we would have done that just a second ago in that appointment type. The thing that I was thinking that we need to do is actually over here on the calendar screen. So what we just did was we activated the appointment type. That is one of the steps that you need to do. But since you're likely just creating your account, the other thing that you'll have to do is go over here to the calendar, click manage and share, and then set your calendar to online. That was the part that I was forgetting just a second ago. So this will make your calendar fully available. And I guess we can jump over to this calendar for just a second so you can see what it looks like. So we're going to put your URL there. So there you see the appointment type that we activated and created. And then what you'll see here is this toggle. This will just turn your calendar off. That's all this is doing. So just make sure that that is flipped on, and then you are good to start scheduling meetings. So that's the gist. That's the gist behind how you set up scheduling in EveryChat. If you have questions for me, please let me know. I'll be happy to help.